5.2 Nutrition. When we walk or ride a bicycle, we are using up energy. Even when we are not doing any apparent activity, energy is needed to maintain a state of order in our body. We also need materials from outside in order to grow, develop, synthesize protein and other substances needed in the body. This source of energy and materials is the food we eat. How do living things get their food? The general requirement for energy and materials is common in all organisms, but it is fulfilled in different ways. Some organisms use simple food material obtained from inorganic sources in the form of carbon dioxide and water. These organisms, the autotrophs, include green plants and some bacteria. Other organisms utilize complex substances. These complex substances have to be broken down into simpler ones before they can be used for the upkeep and growth of the body. To achieve this, organisms use biocatalysts called enzymes. Thus, the heterotroph's survival depends directly or indirectly on autotrophs. Heterotrophic organisms include animals and fungi. 5.2.1 Autotrophic Nutrition. Carbon and energy requirements of the autotrophic organism are fulfilled by photosynthesis. It is the process by which autotrophs take in substances from the outside and convert them into stored form of energy. This material is taken in the form of carbon dioxide and water, which is converted into carbohydrates in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Carbohydrates are utilized for providing energy to the plant. We will study how this takes place in the next section. The carbohydrates which are not used immediately are stored in the form of starch, which serves as the internal energy reserve to be used as and when required by the plant. A somewhat similar situation is seen in us, where some of the energy derived from the food we eat is stored in our body in the form of glycogen. Photosynthesis equation: 6CO2 plus 12H2O chlorophyll sunlight gives C6H12O6, which is glucose, plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. Let us now see what actually happens during the process of photosynthesis. The following events occur during in this process. 1. Absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. 2. Conversion of light energy to chemical energy and splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. 3. Reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. These steps need not take place one after the another immediately. For example, desert plants take up carbon dioxide at night and prepare an intermediate which is acted upon by the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. Let us see how each of the components of the above reaction are necessary for photosynthesis. If you carefully observe a cross section of a leaf under the microscope as shown in figure 5.1, you will notice that some cells contain green dots. These green dots are cell organelles called chloroplast, which contain chlorophyll. Let us do an activity which demonstrates that chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. Activity 5.1. Take a potted plant with variegated leaves, for example, money plant or crotons. Keep the plant in a dark room for 3 days so that all the starch gets used up. Now keep the plant in sunlight for about 6 hours. Pluck a leaf from the plant, mark the green areas in it and trace them on a sheet of paper. Dip the leaf in boiling water for a few minutes. After this, immerse it in a beaker containing alcohol. Carefully place the above beaker in a water bath and heat till the alcohol begins to boil. What happens to the color of the leaf? What is the color of the solution? Now, dip the leaf in a dilute solution of iodine for a few minutes. Take out the leaf and rinse off the iodine solution. Observe the color of the leaf and compare this with the tracing of the leaf done in the beginning, shown in the figure 5.2. What can you conclude about the presence of starch in various areas of the leaf? Now, let us study how the plant obtains carbon dioxide. In the class, we talked about stomata as shown in figure 5.3, which are tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves. Massive amounts of gaseous exchange takes place in the leaves through these pores for the purpose of photosynthesis. But it is important to note here that exchange of gases occur across the surface of stems, roots and leaves as well. Since large amounts of water can also be lost through these stomata, the plant closes these pores when it does not need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. The opening and closing of the pore is a function of the God cells. The God cells swell when water flows into them, causing the stomatal pore to open. Similarly, the pore closes if the God cells shrink. Activity 5.2. Take two healthy potted plants which are nearly the same size. Keep them in a dark room for 3 days. Now place each plant on separate glass plates. Place a watch glass containing potassium hydroxide by the side of one of the plants. The potassium hydroxide is used to absorb carbon dioxide. Cover both plants with separate bell jars as shown in figure 5.4. Use Vaseline to seal the bottom of the jars to the glass plates so that the setup is airtight. Keep the plants in sunlight for about 2 hours. Pluck a leaf from each plant and check for the presence of starch as in the above activity. Do both the leaves show the presence of the same amount of starch? What can you conclude from this activity? Based on the two activities performed above, can we design an experiment to demonstrate that sunlight is essential for photosynthesis? So far, we have talked about how autotrophs meet their energy requirements, but they also need other raw materials for building their body. Water used in photosynthesis is taken up from the soil by the roots in terrestrial plants. Other materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and magnesium are taken up from the soil. Nitrogen is an essential element used in the synthesis of proteins and other compounds. This taken up in the form of inorganic nitrates or nitrites, or it is taken up as organic compounds which have been prepared by bacteria from atmospheric nitrogen.